Hello everybody and welcome back to game 3 between these two giants of the game. Down here in the bottom left on Everdream we have Innovation, and up here in the top right corner we have the Blue Zerg Serral. Again guys, this game is played at the Stay at Home Story Cup 2020, which I didn't get to watch, so I'm going to be casting a few of the games from there because they're great quality games and I hope you enjoy watching them, even if you've seen them already. Hope you enjoy watching what I have to say about them, and if you enjoy what you see and you'd like to give some support, then please leave a like on the video and subscribe to get updates. It really does help me with the YouTube algorithm. And immediately we're seeing a change. We got a change in what we're doing. Innovation, showing some innovation and going for a 2-Rex proxy right in the middle of the map. And Serral scouts it immediately, and he reveals to Innovation that he's seen it. But, oh! Question mark says Innovation. He's saying, why did you move your Overlord in that way? That is not the usual way to move an Overlord, and you shouldn't be able to scout this immediately and send drones down and completely destroy the rush. This looks like GG. This looks like the end of the game. Innovation, he's not going to be able to finish these barracks. Oh, he finishes one. He finishes one, and Z on a Korean keyboard is the symbol for K, which is also the symbol for laughing in Korea, because they laugh like they think that's, you know, sort of ha ha ha. They so yeah, ZK means ha ha ha. I actually got it up. I'm sure that if Serral was able to kill that SUV there and the barracks wasn't going to finish, then Innovation would have left the game. But he did manage to get one up, and so he's going to stay in, which I'm glad about, because I didn't want to see the game end right there. I did not want to see this fantastic series end in such a sad way. But still, the choice to play on is a tough one. He's definitely behind, and he's definitely, you know, his plan is foiled. He's got to come up with something new here. But let's think about it for a second. He got his Reaper out, and he got it out before the Lings, so he might actually get something done here. I mean, he won't actually, because Serral's micro is too good. But you know, let's stop and think. Very normal to get your Reaper out, right? Reaper expand. His expansion is here. His factory is here. He's not that far off the beat. He puts down a third base because he knows he is off the beat, so he has to try and find some way to recover. Okay, he's not going to be able to win quickly because he's already behind because of what happened. So he can only win in a longer game, where that early game disadvantage is going to slowly be petered out and going to be less important as the game goes on. So a really quick third base, and is it really worth building the reactor? Why don't you just build the reactor on the on the factory straight up? Are you going to build nothing from the factory, and yet you're going to wait for the barracks? I don't understand that. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, okay, so he is going to produce. Okay, so what did you lose? You lost the mining time, right? So you got two SUVs that went out into the middle of the map really early, and one of them died, and the other one was stuck in the middle of the map building. So that's loss of mining time. Yeah. You had to cancel the barracks, that's loss of money. Your build's delayed, i.e. you didn't get your gas at the right time, you didn't put your factory down at the right time, and you had to build your command center up on the high ground just to be defensive, so this is now delayed landing. So that's the level of delay, yeah, and yeah, you get the one Hellion out just to be safe. And he's following it up with the Liberator. He's not going for the Cloak Banshee play because his money's behind. His base is landing so much later, he can't afford it. So he's just going for the poor man's Banshee Liberator, which can, you know, perhaps to a lesser player get a lot of kills. But as we've seen, Serral is a master of defending, and I don't have very high hopes for Innovation to actually get something done. But he's going to go Stim and Bio. And I know I talk about mech in like every game I cast with the Terran, but I really feel like mech would be a great choice here because, again, as I said, you're going for the long game. That early game disadvantage is going to be slowly reduced over time by going for a late game composition. So if you're going for mech and you're going for a really high value army where you can recuperate your disadvantage, that's going to really work out for you. Bio from behind, I question it. And you know, innovation, really not an innovative player, defaulting to type, defaulting to what he's used to. When in stress, we regress, and I would really like to see just a little bit of innovation here, where he just thinks about how to turn what's happened into a win. But hey, who am I to criticize one of the greatest Terrans in the world of all time? Let's see what he's got. He's going to dive in with his Hellions again. No, not again! Don't you remember what happened last time? Don't you remember? Oh, look at the Ling Micro. The Ling Micro is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Alright, I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to go back. Because I'm a Zerg player, and because I love Zergling Micro, okay? Zergling is probably a unit that most people don't bother to micro. They think of them as a complete A-move unit, but let's see what you can do if you do micro them. So let's watch it from Serral's position as well. Look, he's got two groups. He's box selecting this group and moving out ahead whilst the other group chases from behind. You see? And in that way, he actually keeps the pressure on the Hellions by the ones that are behind them, but he's also getting out in front of them and trapping them. You know, what I do, what a lot of Zergs do, is you select all of your Zerglings and try and put all of them in front to try and trap them, but then they're not shooting whilst they're chasing, and the step of the Hellions can sometimes mean you die. But Serral is selecting half of his Zerglings, half of the Zerglings chase, half of the Zerglings follow. And that's ultimately what ends in there being so many Hellion deaths there. And again, you know, how many did he have? 8? Now he's down to 3. And that means he's just not going to have to pressure the map, you know. I guess when you're behind, you've got to try and take risks to get ahead, to even things out. But I really don't think that's the correct risk to take. The risk I would have taken, if it even is a risk, is to go, okay, I'm not going to attack. I'm just going to put 4 bases down, go full mech, Blue Flame Hellions, Widowmine drops, whatever. I'm going to try and recuperate my losses through efficiency of the value of my units through a mech-based play, and just try and expand as much as possible. But innovation trying to do what he did in the last 2 games, but from a much worse position. And yeah, I just think, you know, and it doesn't take anyone smart to know, but he's behind. He's significantly behind. Serral's Changeling comes in, scouts the drop, and we see a Spire coming in from Serral this time. You know, Mutalisks can be good, but Marines are very good against them. So we've not seen Serral go for them in the last 2 games because things have been fairly even. In this game, he's hugely ahead, so he knows that the Marine count's not going to be that high, and the Mutas are going to be really effective. So, you know, when you're slightly ahead, Mutas are fantastic. When you're even or behind, Mutas are pretty bad. As a general rule of thumb, that applies. So Serral is ahead in this game, so he's going Mutas, and they're going to be incredibly effective. Yeah, I mean, look, he can defend this drop with just a random amount of lings. Does he not to make banelings? That tells you how far ahead he is. You know, he just has X Zerglings here and can just crush, you know, what was supposed to be an impactful push. And yeah, his 4th base fully up. Are we going to see the 5th base coming in pretty soon, as we did in the last game? Yeah, and now look at this push. Remember this push in game 1? Where we had like 8 Hellions, twice as many Marines. It was so much more scary. In this game, he's sieging up on the creep. Ah, the Queens are here, you know. Remember in the first game where Serral just killed like a little bit and then had to retreat? There he killed both tanks and most of it. The push, and yeah. You see, it's just not. How do you hope for your cost efficiency that's going to pull you back with bio? When Marines trade like that, you're staying in the same position as where you were. You're both trading armies. Nobody's really getting ahead, and when you're behind, that means you're staying behind. So yeah, I think, you know, he had to go for some kind of some mech-based play and try and get hyper value, but I'll stop talking about that now. Mutalisks are out. Does Innovation know? Does Innovation got any kind of scouting? on the spire. No, it's in a very strange position. You wouldn't naturally just scout that. And there's no turrets currently. And yeah, I mean, yeah, your biggest fear when you're with muteless like this is, oh, he's going to attack me. Right as I go in here, he's going to hit my front door and I won't have enough to defend. But look, Serral's got 3 armies for defense. So the muters are just totally safe to do whatever they like across the other side of the map. And there's 7 workers going down immediately. So now that already being behind, that slight disadvantage already is just going to become snowballed into... I can barely talk anymore because, you know, I just start to feel really sorry for Innovation. It just seems a hopeless battle at this point. Your only way to win in this situation is by misplay from Serral. And hoping for Serral to misplay is like hoping for the sun not to rise. Serral is so consistent and so safe, such a good defensive player. He's not going to let anything happen. Unless, you know, suddenly his left arm breaks and he has to forfeit for some reason. Yeah. I mean, look, this isn't even his main army. This is just a secondary army coming in here and crushing. And then he joins the 2 forces. And Serral can trade so inefficiently here. He doesn't even care. So long as he's keeping the Terran down, you know, trades are always going to be advantageous to someone who's ahead. Because you just keep maintaining the status quo of you being ahead. And, you know, Serral can reproduce units so much faster. He's got more money, he's got more production, he's got more map presence, he's got better tech. Just everything is in his favour, and I just really don't know what Innovation's plan is, you know. There's no real plan to overcome what happened in the early game. He just did exactly the same build as he's been doing for all of the games, and yeah, showing a lack of creativity, I think. But obviously it's easy to criticise a guy when he's had his proxy racks scoured. You know, I think he would have left the game if not for that racks finishing. So it's, you know, he stayed in a game which he basically knew was lost already. So let's not be too harsh on him. And the Zerglings roll in here. You know, it doesn't really matter if you kill the base or not. They don't take very long to rebuild. What's more important is you kill the SCVs. So he killed 10 workers there, and that means even if you rebuild the base, there's going to be nobody to mine it. So it doesn't matter that the base didn't die. You still did a huge amount of damage. Oh, the muters are going to come in. There's no missile turrets. There's a couple of Thors, but they don't fire fast enough and they move too slow that the muters can just avoid them and get economic damage done elsewhere. Ah, Innovation. Innovation. I mean, look how good his Innovation's macro is. You know, give it credit to him. 150 versus 171 right now. He's got 5 base. He's got 4 bases. He's got his 3/3 upgrades on the way. You know, he's really macroed incredibly well, considering he's been behind the entire game. But you're against Serral. Serral is also, you know, probably the best macro Zerg in the world. I'll go out there and say that. Sorry, Rogue, but you know, Serral seems to never miss a beat. He's always got more banelings coming. Banelings after banelings after banelings, and it's a marine-based army. So yeah, I mean, he can afford to counter-attack here, muter attack here, and still crush this defense at home. I mean, that just tells the story. When you don't have to pull your whole army to deal with this, that shows how ahead you are. It's quite a sloppy trade, you know. He attacks on the Marauders, and really quite a sloppy trade, but who cares? He can lose this base. All Serral has to do is clear that army out in the middle of the map and he wins. So yeah, he's just committing, just making that 100% the case. Kill this planetary fortress. Oh, big baneling shots. This is something Serral's really famous. I associate with him. He's sending off small groups of banelings to engage first. But yeah, the Muters come back, clean this all out, and Innovation should GG here. He might stay in because he's got no other, you know, if he loses this game, he's out. He loses the match, so you might as well play it out until you're completely dead. But look, yeah, he's got 3 more orders against a flock of muters. They're coming in like, we'll save you, Medivacs. No, we can't even shoot up. And yeah, the works are dying. Innovation needs to show some humility, bow down, recognise that the game is over, and say GG. But he's just coming to terms with that. And here we go, the single swarm host. This seems to happen in like every 10th game. You just accidentally make a swarm host. I do it as well, and it's always cute how Zerg players always try and make it count. Like Dark recently in the GSL game, he built 2 by mistake, and he's like trying to send them around the map to do something. They do absolutely nothing in low numbers, but you know, you've made it, so let's try and micro it. Really cute. But yeah, this should be the final push, I think. This is going to wipe out all of Innovation's army, and should be the end of the game. But actually trying to finish a Terran is pretty tough. It's pretty tough to finish a Terran now. Yeah, look, here we go. Go, little Swarm Host. What's it going to achieve? Will it? Oh! And the GG. 0 kills. He was close. He was close to achieving something. So yeah, it's a real shame. But let's just what am I doing? Let's just quickly, if you'll bear with me, reload that game. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch Serral's scouting path. Now, usually with this Overlord, you're trying to send it to here. Okay, so your scouting path's probably going to be like kind of like this, right? That's what I do. However, this is a Pro League game, right? So he's going to look for some proxies. So you might send it over here and like look all this area, yeah? Or else look over here. These are really common areas for proxies. So Innovation doing a triple bluff is like, okay, this is the normal scout path, but Serral's going to move it into a different location to look for a proxy. So what I'll do is I'll put it into the original normal position, okay? But then the quadra bluff on top, Serral goes, all right, I'll scout along here to see for something here, and then go back to the normal spot to see, and then here's to like look for any bunkers being made. Yeah, so it's kind of covering all the bases. It's kind of covering the surprise spot, the normal spot, and then finally, okay, if I can't find it, well, I'm going to see your bunker being placed here, and it's going to give me some indication. And yeah, I'm sure that in many games, Innovation gets away with this, but this time, Serral scouts it. And this is basically the story of the game. Question mark, question mark. His point is, why did you send your Overlord there? I can't believe you sent your Overlord there. Only noobs send their Overlord in that straight normal path, but Serral showed both of them. And yeah, I'm almost certain that if he doesn't cancel that, if he doesn't finish that there, he leaves the game. So that's the end of the series. We got, let's update it, 2-1 to Serral. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. Thanks guys, see you next time.